Money or soul? After a spiritual awakening, this becomes the main internal conflict that many of us have. Do I work for money just to survive? Or do I do something that truly connects with my soul? We feel like we need to choose between the two. Earning a living feels like you have to sacrifice your time, your energy, and your newfound values. But what if all this is just a lie? What if the choice between your soul and your money is just an illusion created by one single limiting belief? And when you see that one belief for what it truly is, the conflict between your soul and money simply disappear with it. This is what we are going to explore together today. But first, to see this limiting belief clearly, we need to understand the two energetic shift that creates it. After spiritual awakening, your motivation to work may disappear. The egoic desire for a better life, a better salary, the approval of others, it feels kind of hollow now. It doesn't hold much meaning to you anymore. This naturally leads many people to leave their stressful or unfulfilling jobs. But then that creates a second problem. We may not have enough money for food and shelter. This is where the internal conflict begins. While your motivation system has evolved, your egoic desire don't motivate you anymore. You're still running on the old outdated belief that money must be earned through sacrifice. Since young, we are taught to trade our time, our passion, our freedom to do something that feels unfulfilling in order to earn a living. We are forced to study subjects that we are not interested in schools because our parents and our teachers tell us that it's good for us in the future. Before spiritual awakening, you may have tolerated this, but now that you're connected with your soul and you know what you truly desire is freedom and joy, you'll start to reject work that feels like a sacrifice. The idea of trading your life force for something that feels meaningless becomes physical and emotionally unbearable to you. And so here is the core issue. Your soul rejects the sacrifice, but your mind's programming keeps telling you that sacrifice is the only way to get money you need to survive. Can you see the conflict here? But that feeling of stuckness is just an illusion. It's based entirely on one conditioned belief that we have been taught. Money must be earned through sacrifice. And now here's a new way to think about money that will change your perspective. Money is not earned through sacrifice. Money is received through value exchange. Working is not a sacrifice. It's just an exchange of values. I struggled this with myself for a long time. For months, I procrastinated on setting up a web page for one-on-one consultation. Why? Because in my mind, that old belief was running the show. Giving one-to-one consultation felt like I have to give up my time and my freedom for money. It felt like a sacrifice, so I naturally resisted it. But the truth is, action is always part of creation. Think of it like growing an apple tree. You have to plant the seed and water it consistently, right? But you don't see the action as a sacrifice, right? You see it as a joyful, necessary part of nurturing something that will eventually bear fruit. Work should feel the same. It's simply an exchange. You provide value, and in return, you receive a form of energy called money. That's it. Work is just work. It's a story we tell ourselves about how much we need to sacrifice for our work that make it feel so painful. So the solution isn't to stop working. The solution is to stop seeing it as a sacrifice and start seeing it as a value exchange. You are not working for money. You're not earning a living. The word earn already sounds like a huge sacrifice, as if you need to be deserving enough to earn something or work very hard before you get paid. It makes us feel like we are slaves. Like, instead, just receive money, don't earn it. Simply provide value. If there's a match in how the value is perceived by the other person, there will be an exchange of energy and money. If not, find someone else who is willing to make that exchange. It's very neutral and light. It's not loaded with the heavy energy of struggle and sacrifice. You gotta find a way to provide value that feels so aligned with who you are that it becomes merely a joyful expression of your soul. It could mean that you have to reduce the number of hours you work. Before spiritual awakening, money feels more important than our time and freedom because we are conditioned this way. We are constantly taught that money is the most important thing through society, social media, parents. So we are willing to trade and exchange it for money. But after awakening, your time and inner peace are infinitely more valuable. Now, money isn't worth as much as before. You don't need so much money anymore. You just need enough for your food and shelter. So naturally, you will just work enough to get food and shelter. There is a need to consciously rebalance your value equation. The perceived value of money used to be so high, but now it's like this, like it's not worth, it doesn't worth as much anymore. So you either reduce the hour you work or you raise your hourly rate to match your new value. Many spiritual people, including me, have this problem. We would rather work fewer hours than charge a higher rate because we feel uncomfortable receiving too large an amount in exchange for our time and services. We might be worried about how other people think of us, like whether we are spiritual or not, for charging money for our services. But here's another way of looking at it. If you decide to charge more for your time, it's not because you're greedy. It's because after awakening, money is now less valuable to you. 1 hour of my time is worth so much more than before. That 1 hour I could be taking a stroll in the park, I could be meditating. So money is worth so little now that it will take a significantly larger amount of money to match the perceived value of my time. Or it must be something that really resonates with my soul, something that I really feel called to do. Otherwise, it will always feel like a sacrifice. It doesn't feel like an exchange. By the way, I'm Yongkang. Welcome to our conversation about money and spirituality. So now how do you start to live from this new perspective? Here are 3 simple exercises you can begin today. First, define your new price. Get honest with yourself. What is the minimum hourly rate you will need to feel that the exchange of your time is joyful and not a sacrifice? For me, I used to provide tuition for kids, so I kind of peg it slightly higher than my tuition rate. Also ask yourself what is the maximum number of hours per week you could work and still feel expensive and not drained. Last time when I was working as a tutor, I just worked enough to pay my money expenses, and that's it. I don't work any more than that. And you have to bear in mind that the value of the first few dollars you receive for food and rent may not be the same as the value of the additional cash you receive after your basic needs are met. You may be willing to work for a lower hourly rate just to get some food in your belly. But once your basic needs are met, your hourly rate will be much higher because you don't value that additional income as much. And don't judge the number like, oh no, it's too high. What will people think of me? It's just a gut feel of what resonates with you, what your new standard is. Most people will feel uncomfortable hearing your charges because most of us are still under the influence of our money programming. I tell you a funny story. Recently, a reader asked me about my rate, and I told him. He said he would rather be bitten by the snake. And I was like, why? There are so many free resources on my website and on this YouTube channel. He could just use them. And if he has a question, I could make a video or blog on it. Why does he want to feed himself to the snakes? That's because we place too much significance on money. We are too attached to money. Money represents our worth, our sense of self. When we pay a sum of money that feels very large and significant, it feels like someone is taking a huge part of you away. It's as good as dying, right? But what we don't realize that money is just an exchange. If I can't afford something or I don't value it the same way, I don't value it so high, there's simply no exchange. I just go for other alternative of free alternative. That's all. There's so much free stuff out there for us to use. Number two, brainstorm your joyful exchanges. You can list 3 or more ways you could provide value to others that will feel like a natural extension of your soul. For me, teaching someone feels very easy because that's what I've been doing since young. When my classmate has problems with maths, they will ask me for help and I will help them. Even though maths isn't something that I want to teach right now, teaching is very natural for me. So ask yourself, what feels natural to you? What feels natural to your soul? Or how do you feel when you do something? Could you teach, create art, or offer a service? The goal here is just to simply identify your path of least resistance when it comes to value exchange. So that when you trade your time for money, it doesn't feel like a sacrifice. It just feels like you're doing what your soul naturally loves to do. So the third practice is to strengthen your receiving muscle. You must be good at receiving money. You must be so good that you can receive without the sacrifice. Let me tell you a story. One time it was Christmas and I was feeling kind of generous. I was trying to give a $100 gift card to someone in my singing community. I was trying to find someone who couldn't afford the singing course and just help them out. But the first person I offered it to, she rejected it. The second person also politely refused. In the end, she decided to buy the same course on her own. It was only the third person who finally accepted my goodwill. And the reason why they can't accept it, because they have the same limiting belief that we have been talking about all this time. They had unpleasant feeling about receiving money or receiving something without doing anything or without sacrificing something for it. That discomfort is that feeling of I haven't earned this. I need to sacrifice or suffer before I deserve that money. This is actually a massive block to the flow of abundance in your life because the universe is constantly trying to give you gifts, but you may be subconsciously pushing them away. The universe is not like Santa Claus, like, oh, you need to be a good boy or a good girl before you are rewarded. It's constantly looking out for you, but you must be open enough to receive it. So you have to practice this and actively work on your receiving muscle. When someone gives you a compliment, your only job is to smile and say thank you. Don't deflect, don't downplay it, just receive the compliment. If a friend offer to buy you coffee, just let them. Notice any discomfort that might come out, but just breathe into it and receive the gift anyway. You are retraining your nervous system to accept goodness without feeling like you have to suffer for it first. So the problem is not that you need money. The problem is the belief that you must struggle and suffer to get it. When you hear your relationship with work and money and see it not as a painful sacrifice, but a joyful value exchange, your entire financial reality begins to transform. And working is not merely a value exchange, it's also an energetic exchange. Money is actually a form of spiritual energy, just like water. And I talk more about this here in the next video.